ready?
Yep.
Stand by. Go. Shooter ready?
Yep.
Stand by. Go. Shooter ready?
Yep.
Stand by. Go. Shooter ready? Stand by. Go. Shooter ready? Stand by. Go. Go. Shooter ready? Stand by. Go.
Welcome back to another episode of Slide By, and today I've got something that I really didn't know existed until I was handed this to me by my friend. And the SMC-9 by G&G Armament, a company out of Taiwan. Now, like I said, I didn't know this thing existed until it was handed to me by a friend of mine who generously loaned this particular example out for me to review. Like I said, it's just a really cool example of, you know, when Airsoft kind of wants to do its own thing and actually does it. So, yeah, I'm excited to take a look at this thing. So, before I get ahead of myself, I'd like to, as always, give a huge thank you to Airsoft Extreme. Like always, they've been nice enough to let me use their field to do all the cool shooting footage that you guys get to see throughout the video, and just basically let me essentially run wild. They got awesome staff. They got a pretty nice selection of guns, and they're always willing to help you out. So when you can, give them a chance. They have an online store, so I'll leave that in the description down below. Another group I'd like to give a huge thank you to is the Heavy Recoil Club Discord server. So, like always, if it comes to gas blowbacks, they're usually there to help you out. They have pretty much everyone that knows something about whatever gun it be, whether it be like this or something as simple as like a Mac 11. So if you ever need help, go ahead and check the link down below for their Discord group. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and quickly just go over this. So like I said, this is a clean sheet design. This is like something that is what I would call a Ronin killer, because this doesn't require a drop-in. This is like its own proprietary system, and you know what? This is probably one of the cooler. Like I said, this is like one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Probably one of the weirdest looking things too when I first saw this, because this thing looks like it came out of Cyberpunk 2077 or something like that. But yeah, so without the way, let's go ahead and dive into this system, and we'll take it apart, show you the insides, and after that we'll head over to handling and performance. So I'll see you guys there. Alright, so we have the SMC-9 here out on the table, and the first thing you'll notice is the gun's actually quite long. You can see it kind of spilling over the side of my table here. It's about, I'd say, like 20 inches long, folded or unfolded. Folded, it's actually a lot more reasonable, like so. Closer to like 18, actually no, like, yeah, about 17 inches, give or take. So aside from the folding stock, there are a bunch of other features. Let me show you. So first thing you'll notice is the gun has, it's actually mostly ambidextrous. So it's got ambidextrous charging handle. It has ambidextrous slide release safety, which is a cross bolt, and also has a ambidextrous fire select. So right now it is on full auto. So if I push in on the pin like here, it sets it to semi-auto. So the gun is set up for right-hand shooting right now. What I mean by that is the ejection port are on both sides of the gun, so you could theoretically set this up for either right or left-hand shooting. with a little bit of tooling, of course. But overall, it's basically ambidextrous friendly, or for offhand shooting, or whatever you feel like. Out of the box, it does come with a 7-inch M-LOK rail. The folding stock is held in by a very strong magnet. I've been kind of wobbling it around. Hasn't unstuck itself yet, so it's got that going for it. Primary materials, the frame is made of polymer, so it's a polymer framed handgun with a like steel or aluminum upper with more steel in the internal parts. Because it is a G&G, when we get into internals, it actually has a bit of a green tinge. That's just kind of G&G's signature materials when it comes to their polymers. So the G&G takes multiple different mags. I have 2 here on the table at the moment. It comes with 23 rounder flush mags, which are flush with the mag itself, or mag well in the frame. We also have these 40 round chunkers, which are, I guess they're kind of meant for the carbine version, but you can definitely use it in the pistol. I guess if you're speed softing or something like that. Aside from that, gun is overall pretty simple. And with that, let's go ahead and field strip it. So field stripping it is pretty easy. It's the same way as converting it to a pistol. This is not like a Roni where you can just pull the entire Glock out. This actually is like its own like dedicated upper. So as such, it's going to be a lot more accurate, and we'll go into why later on. Right, so to field strip the gun, we're just go ahead and push down on this tab and slide this out. So we're going to do so. It's a bit stiff, so might need 2 hands. There we go. So now that we pulled this tab out, we can lift up like so. And then from here, you lift or push down on this tab and slide the frame outwards. And there you go. That's pretty much field stripping right then and there. From here, you can put the slide for the pistol back onto this, or you can just clean the gun. I recommend doing both, or whatever. It honestly depends on who owns this and how you're going to field the gun. But overall, taking this apart and then switching it between pistol and carbine is very, very fast. It's very efficient, and it's a really smart design. Because it's a clean sheet design, you can basically do whatever the heck you want to convert it. It's not like I said, it's not a Ronin or Roni where you can just stick a Glock into it and it sort of pseudo works. This is an actual like dedicated part of the family of guns, which, like I said, in turn increases the accuracy, the performance, so on and so forth. Right, so taking a look at the internal parts, this part is within the gun, and if I want to take this out, requires a bit of detail stripping, which we're not going to do. We're just going to go ahead and pull back on here. You can see that the dust cover opened. You can see that there's a bit of green. That's just kind of G&G's signature like materials for like a lot of their components, like rubber basically. It's kind of a hallmark of their design. So another weird thing about hop-up. So the hop-up on this takes a proprietary tool, kind of like KWA's. That's kind of points off for me. I don't like proprietary tools for this, just for the sake of proprietary. I really wish that they went with Allen keys. That would have made life a whole lot easier. And with that, that's pretty much it. That's a very simple rundown of the G&G SMC-9. It's a very simple gun to operate, handle, and just basically have fun with. So let's go ahead and take this over to performance and handling, and I'll give my thoughts on that. So I'll see you guys there. Right, so now that we're back from the table, let's go ahead and just quickly talk about handling on this. And for starters, this is a very comfortable carbine pistol to hold on to. Now, what do I mean by that? So, because this is M-LOK, not typically my favorite type of attachment system, but just kind of bare-handing this this is a very comfortable grip to have on the gun. Most people would notice that these are kind of pronounced, the charging handle knobs here. And I found that these actually serve as like a hand stop for holding on to certain, or holding on to the gun in certain ways. So for example, if I'm C-clamping the gun, you can see that the web of my hand right here holds and stops right there, so it doesn't slip forward, and get a very nice comfortable grip on there. Another way is when you wrap your hand, you can't see my thumb, the thumb rests very comfortably on this charging handle right here. That's something I noticed when I was doing shooting with this, is that when I'm shooting and I'm shouldering the gun, I find that it's very comfortable to get a grip on the front of this gun with my supporting hand. It's very nice, it's very comfortable, I like it. The one little gripe I have is that sometimes if you're not paying attention, if you are charging the gun and kind of just ride it like this, you might get clipped a bit because this is just a bit of rough metal, and if this is moving forward, you're gonna kind of nip yourself. Sort of like slide bite, but not really. So aside from that, general controls, it's a very easy gun to remember. You have cross bolt safeties everywhere. It's like inviting cross bolts here, and it's very simple, very easy to learn, and the trigger on the gun is very light. So let's quickly go over that as well. So let's just go ahead and charge the gun there. So there is a trigger safety, and because this is a striker fired gun, or at least it's trying to imitate it, just go ahead. There's a bit of creep, then you hit a definite wall. Very light, very crisp. Let's go ahead and reset. Very short reset. So it's a very light trigger with a very quick, short reset. It's very nice. I very much like that, especially if you're going to do, I guess, airsoft competition shooting.
Shooter ready.
If that exists.
Go.
It's definitely a very, very nice stock trigger. Don't really have to do much to get it any lighter, personally. Aside from that, there is one quick gripe I do have about the gun, and that would have to be the slide release and bolt catch. Now, what do I mean by that? So, given the gun's dust cover is closed here, there's not much space to get your finger into that little groove there. You kind of have to force it in there and just kind of, you know, shove it in and drop it forcefully like that. Now, you can definitely do it the other side as well, so I'm just going to go ahead and set it. You can definitely use your index finger and just drop the bolt, but it's kind of unnerving / uncomfortable seeing how close your finger is to that bolt. Now, granted, the bolt spring is not that strong, so you're not going to get actual slide bite from this. The most you might get is a slightly ruined glove, or your finger gets scratched a bit. It's more than likely it's just going to push your finger out of the way. Kind of unnerving, yeah, but honestly, that's it's not a real bolt, so it's not going to crush your finger. I mean, it's probably going to give you a bit of a love bite there, but honestly, it's not egregious in terms of the amount of pain it's going to give you. That's pretty much it in terms of overall handling. It's very comfortable. It's a very well-behaved gun in the hands. Felt recoil is great. Automatic fire, great. There's no muzzle climb, shouldn't be. But it does kick hard, does kick very nicely. The one thing I don't like is when you do fire is that lower hook on that buttstock, it does tend to dig into your shoulder. For some that'd be uncomfortable, but for others we're not really going to care because we're wearing body armor or something like that. But yeah, overall comfortable. It's a pretty comfortable gun. I definitely enjoyed it. So I just hope that people who ever buy this will definitely enjoy the same comfort as well. Now in terms of performance, this is a pretty decent gun as well in terms of performance. Out of the box, when I chronoed this, I was chronoing with 0.28 at about 60-degree weather. It was managing to average about 308 to 320, which sounds about right, as with 2 O's it is marketed as shooting about 366 to 375 stats are from E-Like. So it is definitely meant for close quarters combat. A lot of PDWs that I've reviewed on this server or on this channel are definitely meant for CQB, and it makes a lot of sense just due to how short the barrels are, how light the bolts are, and how it encourages high fire rate. It's definitely meant to get that quick time to kill, and the G&G SMC-9 is no different in that sort of aspect. What this does bring to the table is just ease of use.
Stand by.
Now, unlike the KWA MP7, which is kind of ergonomically trash, and again the KWA Vector, which is just kind of knobs galore and a little bit chunky, this is a lightweight, easy to use gun. It's relatively easy to take apart too, as we've seen on the table. There's just a lot going for this to be a pretty decent starter gun, especially for those of you who want to get into gas blowbacks, get used to the felt recoil, and just basically want something high speed, low drag, or just want that special snowflake gun that's not based on anything, and you want your cyberpunk spacefish gun type thing. But yeah, so this is definitely one of those interesting outlier guns that definitely deserves a lot more praise and a lot more attention. I see a lot of these starting to enter the market here in the US, and you know what? For those who've been kind of curious if they want to get one, definitely get one of these. These are very fun guns to run around with, and that's pretty much it. That's the SMC-9. It's a very nice gun, and it's very well built, and I definitely hope that this review helps you in your future purchase. And with that out of the way, take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Before I go though, I have a new Discord server. That'll be in the link in the description down below. Take care. So, now that the review's over, I'd just like to give a quick message to my 57 subscribers. I want to say thank you for staying forward the journey, or coming along on this journey, actually. I didn't expect to go this far, really. I expected to just kind of die on the fruit vine and stay at like 20 subs. But you know what? I'm glad that you guys are staying along for the ride, seeing all the weird, quirky gas blowback guns that I happen to get my grubby hands on. And I mean, for those of you who are closeted weebs, I promise I'll get some more Anime Expo or anime content out there. And with that out of the way, take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.